Hi everybody, my name's Cam, and today we'll be looking at how I beat Battletoads without warps. This run was done on my stream on Twitch, um, and it took me around 17 hours to beat, and it was a really fun game. I really enjoyed the process of learning each stage. For those of you who are not aware, this game is Battletoads. It's one of the hardest NES games to date, and it's a lot of fun in my opinion. Definitely a cult classic for sure. So I'm here to commentate basically each stage, go through my process of beating it, and the first two stages are really trivial. They're not anything to scoff at really. Definitely really cool boss design stuff, especially for the time in 1991. I started the game by using the down A B code. That will start you out with five lives instead of 3. So it was pretty important for me to take it here. Overall, stage 1, it's a pretty easy stage overall. The boss is pretty cool, in my opinion. And that's stage 1 done. Pretty easy stage. Now on to stage 2, Impact Crater, or Rookie Hole. Now, this stage is pretty, it's kind of like a slow auto scroll section. However, you can kind of like juggle the birds and stuff, and that makes it definitely really fun to do. So I am playing this on actually real hardware. So taking it from the original toaster. I use a N8 Pro, not N8 Pro, just a regular N8. Run through an upscaler into to an Elgato. Now I actually did used to play NES games when I was younger. I used to watch the Nerd, obviously, and Alright Gamer, two of my favorite YouTubers. So I definitely play a lot of those games growing up. Only the good games though, never the bad games. I've probably listened to the soundtrack of this game like a million times over. It's one of my favorite composers. I believe this is the stage 2 boss. Pretty easy though. Legit. Almost one up there. Very close though. New angle. Hug you. And that's stage 2.
How school is going good?
Time for the infamous Turbo Tunnel. This is where most people playing this game basically end up quitting and stopping. You get introduced to Space Invaders guys. Pretty funny.
You have to do. That'd be.
I'm getting messed up by these guys. I don't. This never usually happens in runs, but
Air physics is...
now as a kid, I was able to do Super Tunnel, but I remember that being very hard. I probably put in when I was a kid, probably spent like a good 10 hours or so just grinding to try and do it. I have edited out all deaths, so they only occur in a short time after each checkpoint. Otherwise, this video would probably be almost 2 hours long.
Watch your time.
Really, a lot about those comes down to memorization. But execution is also very tough. I would say it's 60-40 between memorization and execution. Especially towards the later stages where the RNG's in place. So maybe it's like 50% memorization, 10% RNG, 40% execution.
Also the... Dude, I was like, dude, okay. I can't believe I'm sorry.
That was the part as a kid I could never really get past because I didn't know the strat to doing that. Because you can actually move in the air as well as if you land on the bottom of the platform, it's a longer distance than it would be if you're at the top of the platform. So I usually go down to the bottom and then jump because there's a short distance between the platforms. Now we have to enter warp speed. Don't blink. That's a turbo tunnel.
I'm so surprised it took.
Alright, time for the icy cavern. I really love the music in this stage. It's really good. The whole premise of it is also pretty interesting.
Am I saying your name right? I always say Dres. I don't know if that's...
That's a little puzzle aspect.
Reminds me of Solaris 5. Firebombing it.
Yeah, it's definitely the stage is it's pretty hard at first, definitely not as hard as Turbo Tunnel, but is definitely requires a lot of memorization. And there's definitely some really tight execution areas, just controlled by Snowman. And those snowmen can one-shot you. If you're in their range when they hit, or you throw down, then you're one-shot death. I would be interested to see maybe a ROM hack that fleshes out more ideas from this game, because there's definitely a lot of things, a lot of ideas that were kind of like never fully realized. I think it could definitely make for a very interesting game. I like how every stage basically has something different to offer. It's like a gimmick in itself. I just love the I don't know, it's just a good like variety. Reminds me a lot of Donkey Kong Country and Battletoads and Double Dragon. Some of Rare's other works. Obviously, Donkey Kong Country is a whole different game, but you know, there's a different level gimmick in every you know, Donkey Kong Country level. You know, that's why I like it. It's another great series. Right here is the hardest jump in the whole stage. That is by far the hardest jump. It's just extremely tight.
I can't believe I made that jump.
And you have to jump
I
very
should have died
late.
there.
Right here is actually a really interesting exploit. Saves some time and it's pretty funny to do. If you just go to the second layer, it will kill all the objects below it. You can walk down. Boom, there's the ice cavern done. Time for Surf City. Very similar to another Turbo Tunnel. Definitely really tough and definitely requires a lot of memorization. A lot more RNG this time though. These logs aren't too bad. I think this one is my favorite theme in the whole game. Plus you're riding on a surfboard, you know. It's gotta be cool.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised that the thing despawned by going off the screen. Usually you can get extra points there. And definitely getting extra points matters in this game. You want to get as many extra lives as humanly possible. Especially for the later stages like Terror Tubes, Rat Race, you really want those extra lives, as many as you can get.
But when I'm someone's replaying,
Here's the hardest part of the stage. These mines, they follow the direction that you're at, and it makes it very tough to dodge. So you kind of have to like psych them out. And of course the stage gets faster. You know, this would be Battletoads without getting harder. So also another one up. Definitely know more applications is very key in this game as well. That's Surf City. Now here is a Snake Pit, or like Carnaph's Lair, something like that. Snake Pit is more of a, how do you say, it's more memorization heavy than any other section. But there is still some tight execution you have to put down.
I ride this big hurry.
The animation of you riding the side of the snakes is also pretty funny. But you're accompanying it.
Not bad. I was reading Nintendo Power. I can't believe they made like a whole, basically a whole issue.
I believe I said they made a whole issue dedicated just to Battletoads.
Okay.
This is by far the hardest little mini section in this stage. There's really tight jumps, you know, tight execution. That jump right there is insane.
Yeah, that was.
The roof of the spike is a lot. Like, you can jump into that spike, basically. But the one on the left, you can't. That right there is also tough. Especially on console, it's much harder on actual NES. Here, there's a little exploit glitch. I'm sure this stage is probably a lot harder without this. But you'll see at the end here. It's trick speedrunners use as well. And they just jump, and they're out. Now this is Bulkmire's Inferno. This stage is one of the hardest stages in the game by far. One of my favorite stages, just design-wise. I think it looks cool, and music's pretty good. You could basically call this a Turbo Tunnel 2.0. These logs are actually pretty tough, because your jumps are really floaty, so it's hard to like get precise platforming from a floaty jump. Thankfully, it's not like a precision platformer kind of game, so I mean, there is some precision, but it's mostly running. Oh, the music glitches out there, it's pretty funny. Okay, now time for the Turbo Tunnel 2.0. This time in the spaceship. Now this is really a lot of memorization and also execution as well. This section. You basically kind of just have to know where the holes are. The only way is basically through trial and error. These little fireballs are also RNG as well. That one up. Now, even though I have 17 hours in the game for beating it, I did use save states for practice. It was just, got tedious replaying the same beginning stages over and over again. This part with the rockets is actually pretty easy. If you stand at the bottom, they just won't hit you.
It opens early.
And here's where, shit hits the fan. This part's pretty hard too, but stand up front, it's pretty easy. Definitely that last one's hard to hit because you have to move back. And that's Volkmar's Inferno. Time for Intruder Excluder. This was also the farthest I got as a kid because there's 2 warps you can take. I think I might have went to Terror Tubes once or twice, but it's never really farther than this stage. Definitely a very tough stage. I think this stage also has the hardest boss fight in the entire game, including the final boss. That jump's really pretty tight, pretty fun to get hit. I think most people playing this game casually and like really trying for it. Usually it's around this stage in Terror Tubes where if you're really serious about it, you're probably not gonna get past these stages. Just because this really sends you with checkpoints and it's really tight with execution. I would not blame you. Alright, here's Robo Magnus. The football player. Linebacker, quarterbacker. He's his own team. Yeah, getting hit by one bullet, it's basically death, because the one bullet can't blow you to oblivion. Like that. That's the truth. So we're done. Now here is my least favorite stage in the entire game. Terratubes. Just put simply, it is one of the hardest and one of the
I
worst.
swear, dude. Every time, it takes more hits than last.
Just put simply, a lot of tight execution, a lot of RNG, and the difficulty from this stage is usually from the swing sections, which we will get to, and there are many deaths there. By far, my least favorite part of the game is these swimming sections.
Those spikes I got rid of in Japanese. Like, after I beat this game, I kinda wanna play it.
I think I was talking about the Japanese version. The difficulty Japanese version is a lot easier in comparison. Definitely beatable for most players. These are like little running in the tube sections. Pretty trivial. That's pretty good def. And that was bullshit too.
Are you kidding me?
So here's the hardest, one of the hardest sections. There's two hard sections. This one is arguably harder, just because of how random enemies can be, like that eel. He could easily wombo you all your health bar. It's like you didn't even have a health bar. These fish can really go to hell.
That literally spawned 4 of them, dude.
And those guaranteed won that hallway. That's another spawner that spawns the eels. Yep. And look at that, there's some gray eels you can't even kill. Don't forget the sharks. For good measure. Yep, definitely a very tough section. Most of my time playing this game was in Terratubes, just trying to memorize the stage layout. Getting a good jump there is pretty tough because of how jumping out of water is programmed. Your distance going up to the water line is actually matters a lot.
Oh my god.
See how frustrated I am on this stage. At least they give you a free 1-up every time. If that 1-up wasn't there, this game would be... I'd probably have at least another 3 hours in this game. If that 1-up wasn't there. These ducks can also go to hell. They're one of the worst design enemies. They will one-shot you. No questions asked. The only way you get around this one, that I've noticed consistently, is just hit it once, jump over it. That fish is from hell as well, because if the fish hits you, you will go into the spikes, and then boom, there's no life. Kiting out the shark is pretty tough as well. You do not want to get chain bitten. And I mean, of course they added extra deck for a good measure. Definitely one of the toughest stages in Battletoads by far.
Fuck that stage, dude.
My thoughts exactly.
Oh god.
And in time for Rat Race. Rat Race is a pretty tough stage. Um, Way more heavy in the execution aspect. The first two races aren't that bad. It's the third race that really is gonna give you a run for your money. Although the second one's not too much to scoff at either. If you actually kill that rat while he's falling, you can beat the stage for free. Although I've never done it. See, I played very sloppy in the second one. I still was fine. It's this one that will cause the issues. You basically need perfect execution, and very little, if any, mistakes. The margin for error is like razor thin. I got very lucky and I got a very close call on this one. Any mistake here is basically GG. See, now I missed that headbutt. I thought it was game over from that point. We'll see how close it is.
Oh.
Very close call. I think that was a frame or two. I would have never not hit it. The difficulty cannot be underestimated there.
That was down.
This boss is pretty easy. You kind of, when he jumps up on the side, you just ram him and rinse and repeat for the rest of the fight. Follows the same pattern, given the same inputs, and goes down.
One more time.
So that's the end of the Rat Race.
Holy shit.
Arguably the hardest stage in the game.
Okay.
Time for Klinger Winner. Now this stage is partly why I bought an NES, because an emulator is too accurate, so it will not properly emulate like input lag. So you basically have to play Klinger Winner frame perfect. Rather on console, you don't have to play frame perfect. A lot of people don't like the stage for that very reason, because you can't make it. You actually just can't make a mistake. There's no margin of error. The ball, he gains speed on flat ground and loses on turns. So too many slow turns you have, and that's GG. Extremely tough stage, especially on emulator. I was never able to play on emulator. Definitely love the backgrounds of this stage though. time for the boss. This boss is also pretty easy. Basically, you bring him to the fourth pharaoh, and you throw him at the wall. Pretty easy. Rinse and repeat till the boss is over. You're good. Although I don't mind easy bosses. It definitely make this stage a lot harder if it was easy. It was hard. Oh, there's clearing. Time for the final stage. That would be
Us.
the Revolution. Easily one of the most tactically impressive stages.
I can't believe
Just with the whole turning around. I don't even know how they put this on NES. Those people are rare, man. They're geniuses. I like Revolution. It's a little long. I think a lot of the enemies have too much HP. Especially later in the stage, but overall it's a good stage. This one guys are pretty cool too. These clouds, I don't know. I think the people of this game went overboard the clouds.
Oh, no. Level's worse than the boss, is it? I heard the boss that bad.
Yeah, the boss of the stage is definitely a lot easier. These guys I think would actually make really good like Poppy playtime characters. They kind of like open up their stomach to like eat their prey, kind of like a starfish. Pretty
I swear, like half the cool though.
I believe it's this Cloud. He has 9 each. I think he takes about 9 hits to beat. I think it's one of the highest HP non-boss enemies in the game. Definitely went a little overboard as far as difficulty here. Definitely don't want to die here. I'll be continue down the drain.
If I have to be at the Count Dark Queen is basically itself.
Just waiting for next Christmas to get on the platform.
Right here?
This timing is actually very tough to get on this platform. That last platform, you can really get screwed there. Funny, I got carried there. Definitely funny.
I have never seen that. Pretty funny though.
Definitely really funny reaction. And here's the end of the stage. I got really good energy here from this cloud. He can really screw you over if you're not careful. Boom, time for Tark Point.
Oh, I got 999 points.
So,
999.
well,
We're gonna continue now. Why? Okay, thank God.
So not 1cc, but you know, I did hit the counter stop, so it's good. Although, I'd find it very hard to play this game without hitting the counter stop. Play and beat it, I mean. Dark Wind is pretty easy overall. If you're patient, unlike me, you probably have an easy time with her. I am so glad they made Dark Queen her own stage instead of being tied to a Revolution. Definitely makes that whole thing a lot easier, especially when he continues. And boom.
Dude, That was way easier than Robo Magnet, like the other soft boss.
That is Battletoads.
Holy shit.
Well, thank you for watching. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.